Hello there. This is a super exciting video because we are going to write our first Java program using the NetBeans IDE. So the assumption is we've installed NetBeans, or maybe perhaps it's on another computer that you are using, and so it is ready to go. So here we have our NetBeans IDE. This is the integrated development environment. We're going to go through what all of these things mean, but first we want to just get our first project going. So up in the top left here, we're going to click File, and we're going to click New Project. And we're going to click a Java application. So right here, the projects, it says a Java application, and then we're going to click Next. And we're going to call this our last name. I'm just writing last name, but of course you're going to use your last name. And then we're going to call it our first program. And if you notice, when we start a new word, we actually use a capital letter. So this is called camel notation or camel naming, and so it's kind of like the humps of a camel. So when we do we don't want any spaces in our project names or anything like that. So we're just going to go last name first program with some capital letters in there. And then you're also going to decide where you're going to store your Java program. So this is important. Ours are being stored on my computer, which is at C, Users, FamComp, Documents, NetBeans Projects. But you can click Browse, and you can switch the location of that if you would like. When all that's set up, we will click Finish, and this will set up the new project. Now you're going to be presented with a screen that already has a lot of code on it. We're going to ignore some of these lines. For example, line number 6, line number 12, line number 17. That's code that needs to be in there for the Java programs to work, and we're going to talk about those later on. Right now, we're just going to worry about writing some code which goes right down here. So what it might be nice to do is to scroll down to about I believe it's line 18. And if we click on line 18, we can hit enter a few times, and now we've got some space to write our code. Our first line of code is going to be system.out.println, and I'm going to write hello world. Now this is a line of code. You see it's underlined in red, so that means there's a problem with it. If I scroll over here, it says semicolon expected, and you're going to get used to this. 99% of Java code needs a colon at the end of it. 99%. So there are a few lines that we're going to use in the course that do not require the semicolon at the end, but 99% will need that. So now I've written my code, system.out.println hello world. So it's one line of code, and it's written on line 20. Now I'd actually like to run my program. So I run up to the top here, it says run and run project, and I'm going to click run the project. And it's going to come out at the bottom here, hello world. That is exciting. That is our first project. Now you can start experimenting a little bit if you'd like. I can copy and paste this line of code, and in here I can type, this is amazing. Lots of exclamation marks. And again, if I like to run that project, I just click run, and this is amazing. Sweet, congratulations. That is our first Java program.